Yeah.
Hi, I'm Patrick. This is Brian Fiore, and we have a very special guest, Eric Little, with us, who I consider to be probably one of the most intelligent gamers in my circles, and I have some very big circles. Together, we just got played, and today we're going to review Scythe by Jamey Stegmaier. Brian Fiore, tell us about Scythe.
Sure. Scythe is a 1 to 5 player Euro-styled energy builder, or what do you call it? Economic builder. There's a little bit of worker placement going on, action selection, and it's set in the I think just prior to World War I or just after World War I?
It's the 1920s.
The 1920s, an alternate history / reality, in which there's mechs that are like guarding the workers of the various factions, who have to go out into the fields and harvest their grain and other resources like oil, wood, and steel in order to build your mechs and solidify all the resources that you're going to need for your empire. It takes what? How long would you say? We played our first game probably 3 hours, and that was including the setup and 5 people all new, learning how to play. So I'd say probably about 3 hours or less. And let's see. With that, Patrick, what would you say is your favorite thing about Scythe?
There's a lot to like about Scythe. We were just talking about this. It's hard to pick out one thing. He obviously did an incredible job, but I'm going to say it's the actual artwork that's going to be behind Scythe. There is so much going on, and just the artwork alone, I feel like, gives you very good storytelling. The box is gorgeous, and it comes with this is the collector's edition, and it comes with this gigantic map. And it spreads 5 people out really, really nicely. If you have table area for it, if you don't, you can condense the map down a little bit smaller. I'm going to go with art. Eric, what would you say is your favorite? I know you love a lot about it. What's your favorite?
I do. I really dig the asymmetric player boards. The fact that everybody gets a different faction when they play, and even the action boards that go along with the factions that go along with any of those. And the way all the pieces cover up things, and as you buy things and they show new abilities, and being able to shift the cubes around sort of affect the way that you prefer to play. And then, like I said, the fact that they're randomized, it makes every play different. I like it.
You said before that it gives you like the feeling of playing Terra Mystica.
Yep.
But it's way more ergonomically designed. The very player boards themselves, if you're talking about have little inserts where little pockets where you fit your pieces in, it's incredible the way it's designed.
Yeah.
Brian Fiore.
I'm going to have to say immersivity. It's got great artwork, really gets you into the feel of it, a great storyline. You start to unfold the board, and if you've got the collector's edition one, it's huge. So you got to sometimes push 2 tables together if you're playing it at a con in order to get it on the board, but it just makes it feel like you're like actually walking on the map yourself. It's got miniatures, both the mechs and your leader. And then, of course, you've got your player boards where you've got all of your upgrades and tokens and dice and everything like that. And so you're just surrounded by so many components. You're literally immersed into the game, and it's just beautiful artwork. That said, Patrick, though, what would you say is the thing that you like least about Scythe?
I'm going to go with it's got mechs, and it's got fighting factions, but not a lot of fighting. I really wish there was a little bit more combat, and you can have combat in the game, for sure. Obviously, you kick the living crap out of me more than once. But I wish it was more advantageous of the type of combat it was. Like, you just had a better chance of getting at it. Big Dog Eric, you have to pick one thing you don't like.
I haven't played it enough to really say that anything stood out to me so far as like a real dislike of it. But I could see where, like I was talking about with the asymmetric player boards, where you might get, based on your starting area with the faction and the player board that you get, one that's not necessarily better suited to the faction. So I could see that being frustrating for somebody, because it kind of forces you to play to the player board that you've got, play a certain way this time, whereas maybe you like doing this when you play games.
Because where you start at, you only have a certain amount of resources immediately accessible to you, depending on the kind of
exactly
faction you have.
And you really do have to play to the faction that you've got. I mean, there's the strength of the factions is really what shines through there. So, you know, you may get dealt a faction at the beginning of the game that's a different playstyle than you. You know, whether you're more reserved, hold back, and kind of turtle for the whole game, or whether you're just run around and blitz at everybody real early and try to end the game fast.
Brian, if you have to pick one thing you didn't like.
If I had to pick one thing that I didn't like about Scythe, I'd have to say it's maybe the learning curve or at least the setting up curve. If you were going to have to try to set up this game to just bring in new gamers or try to gateway gamers, this might not be the best one to do unless they really wanted to say, hey, teach me a Euro-style game. This might be a good one maybe to do, as long as they're hardcore gamers to start with. But, you know, I don't know if Grandma would necessarily be into playing this one to start off. You know, hey, Granny, check this one out. I don't know. What do you think?
My grandma would dig it.
Yeah?
But it's a heavy, I mean, literally, by definition, this is a heavy box. Like everyone said, oh, that's a heavy game. That thing is heavy. Probably the heaviest game that I have in my collection.
Yeah. We had a debate going, and it was what? It was a 4.9 pounds or?
This is 8.7.
Oh, this is 8.7. That's the collector's edition, right?
Yeah.
So.
It's a big box. But I'm Patrick. That's Eric. This is Brian. We just got played. This is Dice Tower Con 2016. We're having an incredible time. Thank you for watching. It's by Jamey Stegmaier, and join us for Scythe. How do we do that?
I think it's Jamey.
Jamey Stegmaier.
Ready?
Jeremy Stonemonger.
Jeremy Stonemonger.
Ready?
What kind of production is this?